Bioshock. This game was originally released in 2007 and got a remaster in 2016. And I guess in some ways you could safely call it a survival horror. In some ways. In some ways you could call it a first-person shooter. Except you don't just have weapons. You have also cameras and like mutant powers given by plasmids. This was a very interesting game and held even one of the most memorable plot twists in gaming history if you never caught it. I mean, by now you probably know of it. And if not, where have you been all your life? And it has some of the most intriguing features I've ever seen, and maybe one of the most frustrating. Now, this is a story about a place called Rapture, actually, as Rapture's in its apparent decline. But it opens with you, your character, apparently named, I guess, Jack, on a plane with a package. And then all of a sudden, the plane crashes. You end up in the Atlantic. This is what's confirmed by the series. And you are literally at what looks like a lighthouse. It actually houses a bathysphere which will take you down to the city of Rapture, which is an amazing engineering feat, if you ask me, to build a complete city underwater. This is something. So, we are in the underwater city of Rapture. And, well, things is, it's not all happy there. Uh, Andrew Ryan runs what is left of this city. And he has taken some of the splicer population under his wing. Splicers are people who are addicted to plasmids and a substance called Atom, which is actually harvested in this city by a group of very strange little girls called Little Sisters. Now, of course, as you're entered into Rapture, you become aware of a situation. You get contacted by a man named Atlas, who is trying to, as he tells you, rescue his family. He's a bit of the only person you know down there. Now, as you work your way through, trying to at least get to Atlas's family so then he can help you escape, and hopefully you can escape with them, Andrew Ryan has picked up on your strange presence. Andrew Ryan had Rapture built as a home for the elite of the world. Of course, in the working class that was willing to work. He is a self-made man. But he doesn't want government to involve itself in the running of his utopia. Because the governments just want to take what you create and use it for themselves in warfare. But he doesn't want anybody who is what they call a parasite, who doesn't do work and then asks, "Where's mine?" Of course, a strange person arriving all of a sudden and listening to this mysterious atlas, this worries him. Now, of course, as you advance, you find out you're going to need a little bit more power and upgrade yourself. To do this, you need Atom. To do that, as Atlas tells you, you're going to have to harvest the little sisters. Harvesting them kills a little sister as you remove the strange slug-like entity that's inside of them. See, it's this slug that's responsible for the creation of Atom. And creating Atom and all that. I don't understand the full process. This is why the little sisters are always accompanied by a big daddy. The only way to get at a little sister, to either to quote get this Atom, is of course to take out the big daddy first. And there are a few big daddies around. Of course, when you first attempt to harvest, you are also told by the scientist that helped create them, Dr. Tannenbaum, that you can rescue the girls. It won't get you as much Atom. It's about 80 units difference. But the little sisters will leave you gifts as you rescue them. It's kinder to them. Of course, if you rescue them, you come across that they will still be, conditioned to find Atom. You'll discover this later. Now, choosing to rescue and harvest them is part of the mechanic of the game for the endings. Now, of course, also as you're going around, you have to get ammo for your weapons. You'll find weapons. You'll get stuff you need to make ammo, too. But you also come across machines everywhere. You can heal up at a machine. You can purchase ammo. You can purchase first aid kits. You could purchase things you need. You can invent items. There are costs. There are safes. There are door locks. You are going to have to either solve them on your own or hack them. Hacking a health station lowers the cost it would for you to gain health. And also, if your opponents try to use it, if a splicer tries to use it, it'll spit out a poisonous gas and kill them. You can also accidentally destroy these things. Hack a vending machine and lower the cost of items. I think you could hack an event stand, hack an invent stand, and it'll take less items to manufacture items. Now, the only thing you can't hack is the, there are other things. I mean, you can hack a safe to open it. About the only way to open the safe. You could also hack many robots and turrets that are set up to defend against intruders and that. You can hack cameras, because if the camera spots you and alerts and triggers an alert, you'll get surrounded by security bots. You can hack the security bots to help you. Of course, to do this, you do like a puzzle that's reminiscent of Pipe Dream, an old game. You have to control the flow of the coolant, liquid, whatever. Lead it through from where it's originating to the endpoint. You can switch pipes around, but you cannot switch alarms or traps around. And sometimes this thing is so nasty and will set up a trap area. Of course, you have hacks that can decrease the number of that. But hacking those items, like I said, they can reduce cost. You can hack a camera, and then if it spies one of the splicers or an enemy like, consider a Big Daddy, it's going to trigger. And the Big Daddy in that will come under attack, or the splicer will come under attack. Hack a turret. If you don't destroy it, and you can, but catch up to it and hack it, it'll now shoot anyone, that's attacking you. You can do this with down security bots too. Nice to go around with a little flying bodyguard. Of course, the game lets you know what you need to do to advance. Right at one point, Ryan tries to wipe out the trees, which is very important in an enclosed atmosphere. I mean, you need trees to make you need plants to make oxygen, and we're in an underwater city. Of course, in some cases, water is starting to rush in. So, of course, you have to undo that damage. I mean, you don't want to cut out. That's like cutting off your nose to spite your face, as the old saying goes. But as you're going through this, you learn the history of Rapture. That Andrew Ryan was in charge. And then came along a man named Frank Fontaine, who was a con man, who was criminal, who wanted to take, he wanted the power of Rapture, for himself, and of course Adam and all that. And there was a war, especially since Mike, you have trying to take over, but Ryan wants Rapture to be self-sufficient, which means no smuggling things in from the outside. This is how Frank gets a foothold in there. He's smuggling things in from the outside. Recordings, you learn things about how things were created, how the city came about, the war between Fontaine and Ryan. You learn how Fontaine disappeared. You also learn about how Atlas arrived, apparently in Rapture. But as you advance and have to, apparently witness, Ryan destroying Atlas's family, which doesn't seem to make sense. Things get more and more sinister. In fact, as you go through, even to the point of crippling the power in Rapture, and go to face Ryan in his office, there's a bit of a discovery outside Ryan's office. And as you've also been going through and learning things, running across, helping out this artist character that's still living in Rapture, and he's sort of his own wild card. He wants you to get pictures of 4 individuals whom he helped. Of course, as you're doing that, you start to learn something else. Apparently, Ryan has a child. Not necessarily a legitimate child. Something was done to the child. Experiments. And of course, as you approach Ryan's office, there is a board with all this information on it. Turns out that you are Ryan's child. Your growth was accelerated. You were also conditioned. Every time Atlas has asked you to do something, it was always, would you kindly? This is the epic, epic plot twist that no one sees coming. You think Atlas is rather polite. Something in his nature, like saying, would you kindly, would you kindly? And Ryan lets you in with the statement of, a man chooses, a slave obeys. He's figured out who you are. You are his son. You have been conditioned to follow any command given with the phrase words, or the trigger phrase, would you kindly? And after, he even says, would you kindly kill me? Hoping, probably deep down, that you can break the conditioning. No, not yet. Would you kindly? You kill him, and you provide him with Atlas with control to the city. It's then when Atlas reveals his name isn't Atlas. He's Frank Fontaine. He is the man who has been at war with Andrew Ryan. He is the one who had you sort of hidden away after your birth. He is the one that had you conditioned to believe, to respond to those words. You are now a loose end. And he has the means to, of course, also end you. Of course, you've now been rescued by Dr. Tannenbaum. And she is trying to help you. Because you were just a pawn. You were just a tool. You didn't deserve that. You could still make your own choices. To a degree. So she has taken away the would you kindly conditioning. But there's one more thing. There is still some control over you. In fact, Fontaine has put into you a kill command that will slowly kill you, cause your heart to stop. You have to find the chemicals to stop that. Once you break that conditioning, you can go after Ryan. You can go after Fontaine. But in order to do that, you have to take on the appearance a bit and the smell of a Big Daddy. In a process that Dr. Tannenbaum is not 100% sure can be reversed. Obviously, it can be. And you take on Fontaine after having a little sister help you get past the doors. Because only a little sister can get past those doors, get in those doors and open them for you. Of course, this is also, you see, when there's conditioning that needs to be broken. Like, they they constantly, get, whenever they spot a corpse, they've got to try and get that has Adam in it. They've got to siphon it out. Of course, once you work through this, you must fight Frank Fontaine, Atlas, whatever you want to call him. And he has gotten himself hopped up on all sorts of Adam. This is a battle that you must complete. You cannot, if you die during it, you don't regenerate. So, and what you must do is use one of the little sister's tools. You've got actually about 3 or 4 of them ready. You stab him once to really begin the battle. You have to fight him down till he goes back to, quote, recharge, and stab him again and stab him again. On that 4th one, or on that 3rd one, once you, quote, knock him down, the little sisters come in. He doesn't have time to quote, recharge now. And while he's certain he was going to get rid of you, well, no, the little sisters come to your aid. And you've saved them. You've saved Rapture. Well, what's left of it. Apparently you and Dr. Tannenbaum will leave. If it's the good ending. You see, if it's good ending. Which means, at most, you can harvest 1 little sister. This is a little bit more forgiving than missing a single Madokin in Abe's Odyssey. This is more forgiving. It allows you to, make 1 mistake, but you gotta rescue all the rest. That I was appreciative of. You see, in the good ending, you give the little sisters, a chance at life. On the surface. You all escape in the bathysphere. Dr. Tannenbaum, commends you for doing that. You showed them kindness. You showed them love. The girls go up to the surface, become brilliant women, mothers, looking to you as their father. It's kind of sweet. Of course, if you choose the harvest route for all of them, or more than one of them, you get the bad ending, in which you are told you treat them with cruelty. You take control of the city, and then you even unleash the splicers onto the world, because the city of Rapture isn't enough, even in its state. This was a very fun game to play. My only complaint is, of course, the hacks, but sometimes you have auto-hacking options auto-hack tools and some plasmids that will stop certain things. This is definitely a game that I would recommend playing. In fact, its own little twist, the Would You Kindly twist, is one of those big twists in the whole of video games. It's a great game. Play it. Are there bugs in it? Sometimes. But overall, it outweighs, the downsides. It has more upsides than downsides. I mean, some of those hacking games can be tedious because just one wrong choice before you even know it and you've lost. But it's not unforgiving. It can be rough, it can be hard. At least the Vita chambers allow you to keep going, unless you're in certain areas. But it is a good game, and I recommend it to everybody. And that's all I'm going to say about Bioshock. Hope you enjoy listening to me talk about this game, and check the playthrough. If you've, I hope you've checked the playthrough out. And until next time, take care, all. Bye.